Yeah, so
Hear all this? Euros and pounds.
Oddity Files.
Podcast. All things creepy,
Crypto.
otherworldly. Oddity Files. Oddity Files, the podcast.
So here we are
Here we are.
in the podcast dungeon.
Episode 21?
Oh, we're drinking age, and I do not have a drink.
I know neither of us do.
Son of a bitch.
We're slacking today.
And we're without Jimmy. We're trying to do this on our own.
I know, so just bear with us.
Yeah. So,
If we sound a little off, we'll sound better next week.
well, maybe him not being here, he will cut out everything we ask him to cut
Right?
out.
He's like, this is trash. It's going to be a 14-minute episode.
Yeah. But you're listening to Oddity Files,
The podcast.
We are a paranormal podcast where we talk about creepy things or things that have to do with ghost hunting or occult stuff, anything.
Otherworldly.
Always otherworldly. I did receive in the mail today, Clayton. Have you met Bob, our new...
Is that what you named him?
I've named him Bob, our new Oddity Files mascot sent by Lisa. And Bob is a stuffed Sasquatch because
I like how he has a sweatshirt on.
it's like a flannel because it came from Canada. Oh, see what she did there? Because I think our other mascot, I think it's dead because I haven't watered
Don't turn it over. It'll
I
ruin your
haven't
computer.
watered it in like 3 months.
Well, I thought the whole point of those was you don't have to water. Oh shit.
Well, I think you're supposed to spray water on them. Anywho, we do have a huge announcement that I'm super excited to tell people.
Yes.
On Saturday, September 28th, we will be in Crown Point, Indiana at the Hunt the Town Crown Point, which Crown Point has my absolutely, positively favorite place to investigate in the entire world. They're going to do ghost hunts. They're going to do panels, and they're going to have an Oddity Files, the podcast, live.
Again.
Yay!
The last one was so much fun too. Speaking of that, you guys might have seen this earlier this week. We kind of just surprised you guys and released the live podcast from Horror Hound Weekend in Cincinnati. Just as here you
I
go.
love it. If we had all the time in the world, I'd love to do 2 episodes a week all the time.
Yeah.
But we don't have
have
the
that time.
in the world. Okay, so if you want to find out more about this Hunt the Town event and others that they have, you just head to Facebook and search for Hunt the Town. And we're really excited about this, and we really hope you guys will come and check it out.
The best part is we get to help out with the investigation that night
Yes!
at one of our favorite places to investigate.
Exactly. And they're working on a couple other places to investigate that evening. And it's just going to be a blast. They're constantly announcing new guests. And I think it's just going to be a lot of fun. And it's, just a couple hours away for us. So
Yeah,
that's always
so
good.
easy.
And I'm trying to talk him into going to Red Key, where we were a couple weeks ago. Because
Yeah,
that entire
that
town
whole
is haunted.
town.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. That's our exciting news. Yay!
Is that our paranormal in the news, technically?
No, where's
Oh.
my phone? So I was on Instagram, and I don't know how it's not totally paranormal, but it's just weird
Okay.
as hell. I screen grabbed everything because I didn't want to be like, oh God, where is it on my phone? Besides the pictures of my puppy. So I fucking love science is one of my favorite follows on Facebook, and I follow them on Instagram as well. It's IFL Science. And they're saying dozens of human skeletons discovered in an ancient burial site in Oxfordshire, England, are believed to be victims of ritualistic sacrifices more than 3,000 years ago.
What?
Dating back to the Iron Age, the ancient settlement was discovered by the Britain-based Thames Water Company while preparing to lay 3.7 miles of new water pipes in a chalk stream. During the dig, the water crew discovered these bodies, and I guess they're just buried in all these different positions, and some of them don't have heads and things like this, and they think that either one, that's just how they buried people back then, which, think about it, is fucking genius because now we're all talking about it.
Right.
Or that they were killed for rituals and things like that. I like to go with
The second one.
yeah. I like to go with the first one.
Oh,
where
I
they
like the
just,
ritualistic.
well, I mean, it was way back then, so it probably was.
I literally just followed them too.
I love
And I can't
them
wait.
so much. But think about it. If we were to bury somebody with like, because like one woman they dug up, she was like all spread eagle with like hands over her head and stuff like that. So you're like, what the hell is going on here? And we'll make up whatever we think it is. Honestly.
This is going to be dangerous. I'm just like scrolling through this and I'm
it's
like,
so good.
the inside of a leatherback turtle's mouth. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Google
but
it.
follow them on Facebook too, because they've got some amazing articles
so
on
cool.
there.
Now, this is going to be one of those things like when I can't fall asleep, I'll just like scroll through
it's
that
so
and read
bad.
all those.
It's so bad. There's a couple of them, and Nat Geo on Instagram is a great follow too.
I didn't know that Disney owned Nat Geo.
Neither did I.
Yeah, but you know how Disney's coming out with their streaming service?
Yeah.
They released like a screenshot of kind of what it looks like. And there's an option to click like Disney, like classics, Marvel, Star Wars, and Nat Geo is one of the categories.
Really? I thought they were part of Discovery, honestly.
They own everything.
They do. So does
Everything.
Yeah. It's like Disney versus Discovery at this point. Except
Basically.
Discovery just owns cable.
Yeah, which look out, they'll come for you.
So anything exciting happening in your life?
Exciting. No, but the weather's getting nice.
It's amazing.
So that's always just like you just see greatness coming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think I literally just got over the jet lag 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad this time. I don't know why. I think it's because I was there for
Such a short
like
amount
a
of time.
few days as opposed to 2 weeks. Like
So
we
your
were
body
last
probably like
time.
started to get on board,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're like, just kidding,
Exactly.
and came home.
Oh, you know what I did do? I went to the Oddities and Curiosities Expo in Indy.
I saw that you checked into that. How was it?
It was so cool. It was
Wow.
very, very cool because that's near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
I actually had a booth at a couple horror shows where I was selling oddities I'd find at antique malls and eBay and stuff like that. So I just kind of wanted to go and check out what everybody got there. See the really cool piece of art I got for the podcast.
I do love that.
dungeon? I love it so much. Look at the big chunk of sage there behind you. I've never seen a roll of sage that big before in my life. Yeah. And I got some candles and met some really cool people. I got, I have to, Jimmy, you're going to have to cut this out. I got to grab it because I have to talk about it because it's really cool. So I got this really cool thing, and I can't read it without my glasses, son of a bitch. It looks like a voodoo doll, kind of. See
Right,
it?
yeah.
It's made out of sticks and fabric and jewels, and we'll post a picture of it on the Instagram page. It's a talisman doll, and it's based on an African prayer wish doll. I thought it was beautiful. I was drawn to this one
It
specifically.
is really cool looking.
You place a wish on the doll and hope it comes true. But back in the day, when the Africans would put these together, they'd put a wish into it and then throw it into a fire and then hope it comes true.
Whoa.
But she's beautiful. She is the Kamadeva, Kamadeva, Kamadeva.
Sounds good.
She's the Hindu god of love, health, and physical beauty. Speaking of that, I have a Botox appointment tomorrow. Don't let me forget. But yeah, all kinds of neat stuff like that. Candles that were spell candles and things
Yeah.
like that. It was just, I got a huge 2-pound wand of obsidian, which you know is my favorite. That
Yep.
black volcanic glass, which actually kills dragons. I was watching Game of Thrones and I'm
Who?
like, shit, that's obsidian.
No.
Yeah. Craziness. Full circle. I love it.
That is so cool.
It was fun. And they travel from city to city and
Oh, I thought it was like a thing.
yeah,
Just-
it's like
like
a
there.
convention that goes from city to city, like the ones we do.
Whoa.
So it's really cool.
Was it kind of like set up almost kind of like a flea market? Or was it like,
It was more like just vendor booths
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah, absolutely.
wow.
And some people had arts, not a whole lot of antiques, a lot of bones and taxidermy.
I
and
bet.
stuff I'm not that into.
Yeah. You should have had a booth there.
I should have, but I ran the last time I had my booth. I almost sold out at Horror House.
I know, yeah. See, keep doing it.
I know. I should. I really need to open a shop in that haunted building I want to buy in Paragon over there. Nobody buy it because I want it.
Well,
Unless-
we can open a shop in Story.
Yes, I finally saw the dollar amount on that.
Yeah.
Over $3 million.
But I mean, it's a town.
It is. It is. And it's a tourist attraction.
Right. That one, which, speaking of, we need to go to Stonehenge there.
Yeah, Indiana Stonehenge.
Yeah.
I pulled up pictures of it online. It's not as fantastic as you would think it would be. It's like some rocks in the ground. Not even like on their sides or anything.
Oh, it's just rocks.
Yeah, it's just rocks.
Rocks somewhere that, like, there maybe shouldn't be rocks. So they're
Yeah.
like, oh, whoa.
Yeah. Well, I
Rocks.
mean, this area is covered in limestone, so it's probably just some limestone
That's
coming out of the
absolutely
ground.
what it is. Someone was telling me yesterday about there's like an ultra marathon that's run through Brown County State Park.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, that sounds terrible.
Oh, God.
One, it's not even a marathon, it's an ultra marathon, which couldn't tell you how many miles that is.
5 million.
But it's like on all those trails. Imagine like rolling your ankles in. No.
Uh-uh. Well, they have the Hilly 100 out here. These people on these bikes, on these
I know.
hills,
Remember that day I was driving out here?
Oh, it's
And I was like, oh, I'll
ridiculous.
go the back way today.
No. You should see the look on his face.
I was.
It's kind
the-
of like, bitch, please.
the amount of bikers.
Yeah.
I mean, thousands. And I'm not
So
exaggerating.
many.
Actual thousands. And like some are on tandem bikes. Some people are on like mountain bikes from Walmart. Some, like it's not like a race. It's just a ride.
People riding their bikes in these skin tight little outfits where their shorts match. Maybe Oddity Files needs to sponsor a bicyclist. How much fun would that be?
Gosh.
Hey, I saw you added something to our shop.
Yeah, sticker.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's yawning again.
Sorry. Yeah.
allergic
So I
to
was
me.
like being nosy in there when I made the like the 10,000 downloads
Yeah.
promo.
Oh, which we have not talked about. Go ahead.
I know.
Finish first.
But I was like, oh, we should just have, because you made the car decals. I was like,
Yes.
oh, I kind of want a sticker for my computer
1,000,000%.
that's just the podcast artwork. So I was like, okay,
yeah, I want
I'll just
that
put
too.
it up for sale.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the car decals. If maybe we'll sell them at
Yeah.
like events we're at.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm really bad at shipping stuff.
But we also do have a lot of like really close fans. I know that like commented on Facebook.
Yeah, for sure, that we can just hand them out to. Chris is actually wants to look into getting one of those cutters that makes the stickers.
Yeah.
We would have all the fucking
Who-
stickers.
I feel like I know someone that has one. Oh, it's a car shop.
Oh, well, that makes all the sense.
Right.
But
10,000 downloads. Pass
Look
that
at
up.
That segue. I can't believe it.
Me either. Because my goal, remember, was like, as long as we get to 10,000 before 6 months.
6 months, yeah. And what are we, 3.5 ish?
Something like that.
Yeah. You guys are the best.
It's so incredible. It really
The
is so
best.
incredible.
Yeah, and everybody's out there spreading the word about it. I cannot thank you guys enough. You
I know.
guys-
I was like refreshing our back end, just like waiting for it to tick. And then I think it was like, was it overnight? Or
It did, because I think first thing in the morning I saw it
Yeah, I
and
fell
texted it
asleep.
to our group text. And I was like, yay!
You know what we don't know though?
What?
Who goes first?
Oh, shit. Well, do we go by the live podcast that was just put up
No.
this week?
I would go. We should go from episode 20.
Okay, then it would be you, because you did the Hex House after my
After Lorraine Mansion.
Lorraine.
Perfect.
Oh, look at that.
So, mine breaches into like mythology a little bit.
Oh, cool.
But it's also like cryptid because, yes, it's mystical.
Okay.
I said mythical. There have been sightings. I am doing the Thunderbird.
Ooh.
Which I-
sightings of the Thunderbird?
Yeah,
Yes.
that I didn't. I don't really know anything about the Thunderbird.
I know it's a car. Was a car.
Right. And from Fantastic Beasts.
Yes, and there was a cartoon maybe in the
Oh, really?
70s and 80s.
So, Perhaps one of the most elusive and legendary among America's mythical creatures is the Thunderbird, a giant eagle-like bird with incredible strength. So this creature has been reported through the Midwest, and a particular case in Illinois, which included a dangerously close encounter, supposedly.
Oh, shit. Where
The
in Illinois
drama.
does it say?
I'll get there.
Okay. So I do that all the time.
So the legend of the Thunderbird is present throughout the American Midwest and has like a ton of different versions, particularly in Native American tribes
Yes.
that once lived to continue, all throughout, not just in the Midwest, but the entire United States, Native Americans. So the Sioux Nation, particularly the Brule Sioux tribe, I'm assuming I'm saying that right. Sorry if you're listening and we're a part of that tribe or a family and I said it wrong, just comment and let us know.
Yeah.
It's a southwest part of South Dakota on the Rosebud Reservation, a Thunderbird legend known as Wakinyan Tonka.
Very good.
Thanks.
I think that's right.
That's absolutely right.
I'm 1/16 Native American, and I approve that message.
Which translates to Great Thunderbird,
Okay.
or so the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry says. I'll believe them.
Yeah.
So this tribe, the Thunderbird, isn't a mythical giant bird, but it's a group of non-physical beings that lived in the Black Hills.
Oh, even better.
Clothed in clouds, the Thunderbird men are formless, and their colors correspond to the four points, whatever that means.
I don't know. Maybe
But
earth,
it's
wind, fire.
the Thunderbird of the west is black, the one of the east is yellow, red north, white south.
I love it.
Yeah, and they are giants with four jointed wings,
Okay.
which is a little confusing because they also say they're formless, but they have wings.
Well,
And they're
maybe-
clothed in clouds.
It's like when we try to tell people what God looks like.
True.
Yeah.
So in place of feet are enormous claws with a huge beak in place of the face with sharp pointed teeth. These things sound terrifying.
Yes, they do.
Unlike other accounts of giant birds, they represent a demeanor of goodness and are seen as guides and agents of change.
Totally. Yeah. No.
They love what is pure and clean in the world.
Okay. Well, I like them.
They're so scary looking, but they mean well.
Yeah, exactly. They're just trying to keep everybody at bay.
So from time to time, a holy man catches a glimpse of a Wakinyan in his dreams, but always only a part of it. So no one has actually seen one in whole. So people get like glimpses, and that's how they've put together these things.
Kind of like a police sketch.
Yeah, absolutely. So a different tribe, the Yaqui,
I think so.
Yaqui, Yaqui tribe, tells a different story in the tale of the Otamkawi. In their tales, the giant bird lived in the hills of Otamkawi and would periodically fly out in search of food, carrying away men, children, and women.
Shit.
Little less,
Those are a little more terrifying.
yeah, it means well. Say goodbye to your family.
Yeah.
This came to be such a problem that the Yaqui people feared even having fiestas and ceremonial dances because they thought this bird would come out and swoop and carry everyone off.
I'm taking you.
Literally. So a modern tale that seems to support their legend comes from a small town in Illinois called Lawndale.
I've heard of it. It's a Chicago suburb, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So, and they talked about it on the Discovery Channel, actually, in a series called Into the Unknown.
Ooh.
It was
sounds like something I
around
need
in
to
the
add to my-
70s, which I didn't even know
binge list.
Discovery's been around that long. Good for them.
Shit, I didn't think cable happened to the 80s. I'm that old.
So around 8:30 p.m., three boys were playing hide and seek in the backyard when two giant birds started swooping down at them, narrowly missing one of the kids
In the 70s?
in the 70s.
Okay, back up. I was a child
oh, right.
in the 70s in
In
the
that
suburbs
area.
of Chicago. Now I'm really... And let me add, there was a cornfield behind the townhouse I lived
Did
in.
you always see giant birds?
No, but
Oh.
we dig up arrowheads all day, every day. Wish I
Whoa.
had them still. But shit, it was Plainfield.
So when the birds came back around for another attempt because they were like swooping down, one of the birds caught this kid whose parents owned the house.
Oh, shit.
The bird grabbed the kid with its talons, carried the boy 3 feet off the ground, and traveled about 35 feet.
Okay. Is there witnesses that saw this,
Yes.
or is this the children's?
Witnesses to the encounter
Oh.
were Ruth and Jake Lowe, who responded to their son's cries in time to witness it all. Also witnessing it were their friends who were over at the house cleaning out the camper that was in the driveway. So they were playing hide and seek. All of a sudden, this massive ass bird picks up this kid and just carries it 3 feet.
There is no bird that could do that.
Right.
Unless it's a fucking pterodactyl, which those don't exist.
But like we see bald eagles out here all the time. That's not going to pick up a child.
No, not a child old enough
kid,
to play fucking hide and seek.
Exactly. So the incident was reported to the local police as well as the Illinois Department of Conservation in Springfield, which is nearby. According to the book Monsters of Illinois, the authorities in the late 70s didn't take the mom seriously.
Well, this is another dingo story.
Literally, dingo ate my
Literally.
baby. So, however, as it turns out, Illinois in particular has a rich history when it comes to giant birds of prey. When two explorers traveled through the area. What?
Very important question.
Uh-huh.
I think I might have missed it because I was picturing this terrifying bird.
Yeah.
Did it end up dropping the child, or is
Yep.
the child just gone forever?
No, so like the kid fought him away. That's why after 35
Thank
feet,
God.
he was
Okay.
dropped.
Sorry.
He just never saw the kid again.
Well, I'm back to the dingo ate my baby.
Dingo ate my baby. Which that story pisses me off. So, Jacques Marquette and Louis Joliet, like the famous explorers, when they were traveling through that area in 1673, they recorded in their diaries an image nearly. Oh, wow. Sorry. They recorded in their diaries an image carved nearly 50 feet high into limestone in Illinois, in an area where the Mississippi meets up there.
Yeah.
And the bird would become known as the Piasa bird,
Okay.
which the Piasa bird, according to the Aleni tribe, legend recorded on the Illinois Department of Natural Resources website, was a scaled bird with a form that included aspects of mammals, birds, reptiles, and fish.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Bahamian owl.
Yes.
So legend tells that the bird constantly threatened the Aleni tribe until its chief, Awatoga, destroyed the beast with poison arrows. Go Awatoga.
Good job.
This was many moons before white men explored the area.
You should see his hand movements. It's beautiful.
Many moons. All the Native American stuff has me feeling like they have to just
Yes.
translate it well. The original relief that Marquette and Joliet saw was later painted and relocated, I guess, several times.
Okay.
A recreation of the original painting stands as a landmark in Alton, Illinois, on the Great River Road, where Marquette and Joliet first noted it.
Which that town's supposed to be totally haunted.
Really?
Our biggest, littlest fan, pint-sized Daryl, lives there.
Oh,
Yeah.
they should send us a picture. So a huge bird was also spotted in Alaska in 2002.
That makes more sense in Illinois.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie.
So I guess at the time, several residents in the villages of Tojiak and Manakatak,
Sure.
I'm so sorry, spotted the bird the size of a small airplane. And what one witness said, it was something out of a Jurassic Park movie. The wingspan had to be over 14 feet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Though some scientists are like, we don't know about that.
Yeah, but still.
So raptor specialist Phil Schimpf
Sure.
said that he's not totally aware of anything with a 14-foot wingspan that's been alive in the last 100,000 years.
That's why I kept thinking pterodactyl.
Right?
Somebody's got a fucking Jurassic Park out there.
But I was like, what? Like,
What could it be?
what? Yeah.
What could it be?
Because like obviously there's not any like firsthand of like these birds casting lightning down to the ground. But
Right.
I think, Thunderbirds can also be seen as these giant ass birds.
Right.
Because like
absolutely.
some of these tribes, Thunderbirds weren't quite literally thunder birds.
Right.
They were different things.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, if it could pick up a small child in the 70s, it could.
Whoa.
People were a lot shorter back in the day. Pick up your whole goddamn family.
Whole,
I'll fly.
they literally quit having parties. They're like, guys, we have to cancel this week's party.
Can't.
the bird's going to carry your...
Code red. Code red.
I'm sure they called it something different.
Yeah.
But literally, like, how do you... Like, this actually happened. These Native American tribes recorded that they canceled the parties
That's crazy.
because birds were picking up...
Now,
And it wasn't like babies. Like, men, it says men, women, and children.
Now, the Alaska thing, when did that happen?
2002.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, are they just kind of hanging out with Bigfoot and just...
I don't know. There was also a lot of accounts, but they were like really vague, in Pennsylvania
Oh, shit.
about Thunderbird sightings.
It's very hilly. See, the whole Illinois thing stumps me because there's no mountain. Everything's just fucking
It's really flat. But there are a lot of trees throughout Illinois.
And there's a lot of farmland. A whole lot of farmland.
That's so true.
So, you know what? I wonder if that's near where I lived in the 70s. I'm going to have to look it up.
Lawndale? I'll look it up right now.
Because I was in Plainfield, Illinois, which is right outside of Joliet.
Lawndale, Illinois is really small.
Maybe they had nothing better to do than to...
It is right, so you know where, like, Peoria is?
Mm-hmm.
And you know where Springfield is?
Yeah.
It's, like, right in the middle.
Do you see Joliet on there?
Isn't Joliet way up north?
It should be
No.
off to the west-ish.
Oh, jeez. Joliet, Illinois is 100 and... No, Joliet is up north near Chicago.
Is it?
Mhm.
Oh, I thought you meant... I think of Chicago as in the middle of the state. I don't know why. But you're right.
It's 2 hours north.
Okay. Interesting.
So
I'm lucky to be alive is what I'm saying right
That-
now. Oh, shit. It could have been me, Clayton.
you could have been picked up. It could have, yeah.
Could have been when I was outside playing
What
with
if you were like,
boys.
oh my gosh, I knew that kid. Like, I knew when that
Oh,
happened.
shit. If his name was Dominic, I knew him. I don't remember last names.
Wait, you knew someone who got picked up by a bird?
No, I just
Oh.
knew somebody.
It's like, wait, why didn't you say
I
this
used to
earlier?
make- I used to make that boy and his brother. I'd put on my Grease record and I'd make them reenact the songs with me.
Oh my gosh. Good.
No.
Do you see they're making a prequel to Grease?
No,
We'll talk about that later.
I can't. No,
I didn't
can't.
even click on the link. I was like,
I-
stop.
No, I can't. So my story
hmm
isn't cryptid or haunted or anything like that. It's like the beginning of like paranormal equipment. It's a little bit of a
Whoa.
history lesson with some names everybody will recognize and how they were like the first ones to create.
Interesting. I've never thought
paranormal
about that.
equipment. So I hope listeners don't turn away. I thought it was interesting
Yeah.
as hell, and anybody who does paranormal investigate will think it's probably interesting. So the rest of you just hang tight, and then we'll talk about Grease the prequel.
Or we don't have to.
Okay, so I called it the first paranormal investigators. At the turn of the 20th century, spiritualism was at its highest. And we've talked about spiritualism. For those
Yep.
who don't know, it's when the craze of seances and Ouija boards and things like that just were commonplace in everybody's home. Spiritualism is a fancy way of saying that communicating with the dead. This craze had everyone conducting seances in their own homes as entertainment for guests. And this time also brought us the invention of the Ouija board as a party game. I've told the story of Houdini and how he was out to prove psychics and mediums of his day as frauds. And if you guys haven't heard the story, it's episode 2. It's called Knickerbocker Airlines. It was actually super interesting.
Yeah.
I loved it. But today I want to talk about the inventors of turning this paranormal things into scientific equipment, which is pretty much the precursor of everything we use. The two men who were at the forefront of what paranormal investigating has become today, like I said, a way to scientifically prove that there's something more to life than our day-to-day existence. Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla started out as colleagues, working together for one common goal. Edison was the inventor of the light bulb, the phonograph, aka record player, and the moving pictures. Tesla's inventions brought us such things that have enabled modern day power as it is, and mass communication. Tesla came to America in 1884 with no more than a letter of introduction to business tycoon Thomas Edison and the clothes on his back. Edison hired Tesla, and the two were vigorously working together to make improvements on Edison's already inventions.
That's so crazy. I didn't know that they worked together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mysteries of the Museum told me that. Sadly, though, the two part ways several months later. Many say it was due to the differences in their personalities, Edison being a mover and a shaker with marketing and financial success, and Tesla was said to be not very business savvy and also thought as vulnerable. So he was kind of emo and
Yeah.
Edison was probably this boisterous, huge man.
Gosh, can you imagine? He invented the light bulb.
Exactly. And there's so many, I guess they were fighting over how to make power able to go into every household. And Edison stole some ideas from Tesla.
Oh, no.
A lot of drama.
The drama.
Yeah. Inventor drama. Hashtag inventor drama.
Oh, can you imagine those conversations?
I don't want to.
No, me either.
I think it would be terrible. I actually did watch Rap and History. What are those called?
I don't know.
It's on YouTube where they dress up as the characters and they do this rap about how they fought and this, that, and the other. It's actually entertaining as hell. You should check it out. But later, both in their lives, they became somewhat obsessed in speaking to other realms, and both came up with their own ways to do so.
Whoa.
So Edison, this is both towards the end of their lives and careers and things like that. Edison's story he began working on his spirit phone, and Tesla began working on his spirit radio. AKA
Whoa.
Spirit box. So let's go with Edison's story first. While the public was caught up in all the spiritualism craze, he wanted to know more about the science of it. He thought psychics and mediums were shit and tried to debunk them all the time, very similar to Houdini. But because for Edison, this was a matter of strict science. Edison believed that life was indestructible and that quantity could never be increased or decreased. He theorized that like our bodies, our personalities have a physical form, and they make tiny, quote, entities, unquote, similar to atoms. He thought these entities might exist after humans passed away, a personality-based residue of loose memories and thoughts containing part of who a person was during life. Which is insane.
What's crazy, already, though, these are super smart people.
Smart guys. Yeah. I can't even fathom being that smart.
No.
And so, and he wouldn't call them spirits. He wouldn't call them souls. He called them personalities. He wanted to interact with these personalities, which is
kind of cool. I like that.
Really cool. And I think we may have to use that in an
definitely
investigation.
Talk about stealing ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so he started creating this device to gather this quote unquote residue and amplify it into his device. And then his device would amplify the voices and record it onto a phonograph or record player. So it's kind of like a fancy form of an EVP recorder.
Right.
But the problem he had, and I did research I wrote this story yesterday, and I did research while I was doing my nails, sitting there with my earbuds in, listening to Dave Schrader's Beyond the Darkness. And he couldn't figure out a way to get these particles to come to the thingamabob, because lack of a better term, that would turn it into sound on his phonograph.
Gotcha.
So what he did is he contacted psychics and mediums to get the personalities to come to actually record these voices and things. And he didn't have any luck, sadly.
Huh.
Now, it's funny, too, because his journals were published and put out there for the world. On the first run of the book, the publishers were not happy with it because of the spiritualism at the end of it, and they thought it was all demons, 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 demons. So he had to pull it out. But in the French version of it, it stayed in, which is kind of cool, and people have translated it, and that's where that information comes
That's
from.
crazy.
Yeah.
Again, I just can't get over that. Like that they would open like their minds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
I don't know, maybe it's because it was towards the end of his life and he just wanted to know that everything was going to be okay when he died. Who knows? He never named the machine, so Spirit Phone is a name that was coined later. He did refer to it as a valve that was highly sensitive to vibrations. Valve, that's the word I was looking for, not the thingamabobber. Later sketches of the valve made its way into magazines and looked pretty much like a phonograph with a fluted horn containing an electrode. No, that's the word I was looking for. And the horn was attached to a wooden box containing a microphone, which is said would pick up the vibrations of these entities and then record it onto the record. And there's no evidence that Edison created it, but this journal, apparently, he did. That I wrote before I listened to Dave's podcast. Now, Tesla's creation went along similar thoughts that vibrations could be captured and it would be a way to communicate. However, Tesla's theory was more trained towards space. Tesla built his device, which was a very different design than Edison's, and was able to capture what he thought was voices from other planets. There are plans all over the internet to make Tesla's Spirit
Planet box.
Yes. And there's YouTube videos where people get some weird shit on.
Whoa.
Not even gonna lie. I tried to find Tesla's recordings, but I couldn't find anything. People like Steve Huff have made them. So there's stuff all over the internet where people are just making them like as a hobby in their garages or their man caves or their woman caves and getting like it'll pick up the sound of like thunder from hundreds of miles away.
What?
It's so cool. Oh, where was I? Let's see. It was very different in design. Okay. Here's what was said by the man himself in Tesla's paper, Talking with Planets. Quote, I can never forget the first sensations I experienced when it dawned upon me that I had observed something possibly of incalculable consequences to mankind. I felt as though I were present at the birth of a new knowledge or the revelation of a great truth. Even now, at times, I can vividly recall the incident and see my apparatus as though it were actually before me. My first observations positively terrified me, as there was present in them something mysterious, not to say supernatural, and I was alone in my laboratory at night. How fucking amazing did that
How
have to be?
terrifying.
But at that time, the idea of these disturbances being intelligently controlled signals did not yet present itself to me. So Tesla's theory was, and this is all from memory from Dave Schrader's podcast, is that anytime anybody says anything ever, it's out there in the universe, floating around. And it's a coil, the Tesla coil.
Right.
It's a copper coil. And what this coil is supposed to do is capture these voices, but yet the spirits are supposed to, or aliens or whatever, are supposed to be able to manipulate it and answer your questions, very similar to the Hack Shack or the Spirit Box or the Wonder Box or any of these apps that they have now. He was so ahead of his time.
Whoa.
I'm legit Team Tesla on this. Like I said, Tesla's device is still being used in the paranormal world. Just search YouTube for Tesla Ghost Radio and you'll find all kinds of paranormal investigators using them. or search Tesla Ghost Radio instructions. And there are all kinds of websites just giving you step-by-step instructions on how to build one in the comfort of your own home.
That's wild.
That's a job
Who
for
knew?
Carter right there. Now, since all these fabulous people have made this device, here's a little audio from Mr. Fix-It Rick on YouTube so you can listen to what it sounds like. What did I do with that? Okay. Let me crank up my volume. Not mute. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it picks up.
What?
Could you imagine voices? Oh, shit. Could you imagine voices coming through on that? It's
mean,
just like, it's just taking in any radio.
Everything.
Yes.
I would be terrified. Think about being back then and just like listening to that in a, I'm assuming, dark room.
Oh,
No.
a laboratory, if
I'd
you
be
will.
terrified.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's all aliens.
Legit. He really thought he was talking to aliens.
Which, interestingly enough, we, all jokes aside, at our last investigation, like, may have talked to aliens.
There were some weird voices
It was
coming
weird,
up on the
like
Wonderbox.
clicking sound. Keep going. Sorry, it's so scary.
No, I cannot wait. Actually, I need to pull all the
That was
video off my cameras so we can listen to that. So it's creepy, it's spooky, and if a voice, and there are other YouTube videos over there where voices come over on them. At this point, people are hooking up these devices they make directly to their computers and recording the evidence onto their computers. It's been said to capture the sound of lightning strikes from miles away, like I had said, radio stations that are hundreds of thousands of miles away.
how?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's why I'm not smart. And to communicate with the dead. Some people say they've talked to Tesla through this device. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't confirm nor deny.
Whoa.
Yes. These are what I consider the forefathers of the devices we use today, such as the Spirit Box and EVP recorders. Honestly, if you think about it, what Edison was saying was very similar to like energies floating around and making the K2 light up.
Absolutely.
They were just so ahead of their time. I know it isn't a super creepy story, but as I'm fascinated with communication with the dead, I certainly
That's so incredible. And I this is the third time I've said something. Like, these are super, super smart people.
scientists, like the ultimate form of scientist.
That's so incredible. They're like,
They wanted to talk to the dead.
I know. I wonder which one did it first.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, did the other one only do it because the other one was doing it?
Well, in that podcast I was listening to, I guess they had each team had spies on the other's team.
The drama.
Yeah. But the fact that Tesla got his to work, kind of
Yeah.
hashtag Team Tesla, for sure. Plus,
so
even
crazy.
what is that thing called with the electricity?
The Tesla coil.
Yes, that attracts spirits as well.
Yep.
We need to get one of those.
Well, we used to have one, or I think they still have one at Fear Fair.
Oh,
It's massive.
hey, Brett. Oh, no, that's way too big to take. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like the size of a
fucking
refrigerator.
massive. But I've been talking with somebody at Fear Fair who thinks it's haunted. Maybe we can light that
Fear Fair's
thing up.
not haunted. I spent
It's not.
so much time in that building.
know. It's people scare me, not ghosts, especially there. But it's a crazy story.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. I mean, like you said, it's very different. And yeah, it's cool.
And we get other investigators that listen. I know not everybody's, but everybody's, I'm sure.
But it's
watched
also
some
cool
kind of
just to see like where that
paranormal show.
stuff comes from.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I love it.
yeah.
And it just all kind of went away for a while. And now people are bringing back Tesla's device. And maybe somebody listening that's way smarter than I am will try to get Edison's device to work.
That's so cool.
It did crack my shit up that he couldn't get the spirits to go on the thingamabobber, so he had to bring in psychics and mediums that he didn't believe in anyway, and it still didn't work.
Right. You know how hard that was to like ask them for him?
Oh, you know.
He's
That's
like,
what makes
"Son
me
of a
think
bitch."
Tesla came first, because Edison was kind of grasping at straws. Hashtag Team Tesla.
Team Tesla.
So I talked to one of our dear friends, one of our celebrity friends,
Yeah.
who had a ghost story. Talked to her a couple months ago. She's been hella busy. Her name is Paige. She's a WWE superstar. They just released a movie about her life, and then she had WrestleMania,
All the things.
all the stuff. And she was at Sundance and everything. And so we finally were able to catch up. And I gave her a call, and I had spoke to her last time I saw her. I'm like, "Hey, Clayton and I are starting this podcast." She's like, "Oh my God, I have my entire family's mediums and psychics, and
What?
I totally believe in the thing." So let's go ahead and play that.
Yeah, but I come from obviously a family in which that like my mom is a medium and my sister are mediums too. Like she's a medium too. And my sister she's on another level, dude. Like she's crazy at what she does, and like I'm not skeptical about that stuff whatsoever. I'm like a very spiritual person, so I love it. But the stuff that comes out of her mouth sometimes, like she has to share at me. Like when she like talks to like just she has, if she sees someone in the street, she has to like stop and like talk to him because she's just like gets this crazy anxiety over her body, you know.
Oh wow.
She's like, no, I need to say something, and like literally every single time she's always right. It blows my mind.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
And then she has like dreams and stuff like that. It's insane. But yeah, like my mom used to tell me like I kind of remember this from when I was a kid too. Like we lived from like we're gypsies, right? So we constantly were moving. So like we settled in this pub that my parents had, and apparently I was like constantly telling them like there's a man with block hair, which they're assuming I meant black hair, but I was so young.
Yeah.
And apparently I was just like, this man with block hair just keeps following me around. Like he's there, he's in my room, he's in the bathroom, he's like everywhere I went around this house apparently. And I vaguely remember it. I remember like just always having like this male like spirit
Like
kind of
presence?
around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, presence. And I just remember like seeing a man with black hair, and he was very tall, and he wore like a long black jacket. I remember that, like when I'm really thinking about it, and he wore all black. He was just all in black. And I remember that, but then all of a sudden, like, one day he just like disappeared, you know, and I never saw him again. But like, I don't know what that means or anything like that. I don't know who it was, but like, I used to say maybe it's my imaginary friend, like drop dead friend, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, maybe he was my friend, you know, but like.
Were you
never.
scared of him or anything?
No, like not even a little bit. But then like he used to always whistle, right?
Oh wow,
and, like,
that's a little creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like I used to always hear whistling, and there was this one time that I was like, I hadn't seen the guy with black hair in a long time, and I was sleeping, and everyone was in bed at this point. My mom, my dad, my siblings, everyone was asleep. Anyway, like my bedroom was down like this long hallway, and all of a sudden I just heard footsteps like walking towards my door, and like and the whistling was happening, and I'm just like, oh my God, and I was like freaking out, like I was really scared, and I remember just like hiding underneath my covers in my bed and just waiting for it to go away.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, it was terrifying. And then I remember telling my mom about it in the morning, and she didn't want to freak me out. So she was just like, oh, it's probably the neighbors. And I'm like, my room was too far away from the neighbors to hear that kind of whistling. Like, it was outside my door, like my bedroom door. And, like, you could hear it.
That would not be good. That would be like throw them in jail, neighbors.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm like, he's, like, creepily at my door right now. Like, you know. So, yeah, he would have been in jail for a very long time. But, yeah, it was, like, very, like, it was really terrifying. Like, really, really scary.
Yeah, for sure. And that was after you had grown up a little bit, or around the same time?
Yeah, so like I was in the pub, like where I was living when I was quite young, was like the early 90s, right? And then I remember moving into this other house, and it was like early 2000s, so it was at least like a good 10 years in between, you know. And then all of a sudden, like the whistling is happening again. It was like the most bizarre thing ever.
Oh, that's crazy. I wonder if it's like your spirit guide or something, but it's
right.
a little less creepy.
Right. I would say that because, like, I believe in spirit guides too, right? And this is like a really freaky thing too. And my brother, he died like a long time ago, right?
Oh,
And
sorry.
no, it's okay. He was like an adoptive brother that we had, and he was wonderful, wonderful. But he got in this car accident, and because he fell asleep at the wheel. Right? It was really early in the morning, and he was like rushing out, but he was exhausted, and he crashed into a tree and he died. So, but the weird thing about it is my brother made his own memorial video a couple of weeks before.
Oh.
And yeah, and the song that he had on there was by Johnny Cash, and not a lot of people know this song, but it's called "If You Could Read My Mind, Love." Right? I have it tattooed on my ribs, and it's the most beautiful song. Anyway, like I was on the road, and I was, like going from town to town, like wrestling and stuff like that, and I was traveling by myself. And I remember being a long drive, and I was falling asleep at the wheel, and for some reason the radio came on, and because I wasn't even listening to anything at that point. The radio came on, and If You Could Read My Mind, Love came on the radio, and I've never heard it on the radio.
Get out.
No, seriously. I, like, got goosebumps thinking, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know. I was like, maybe my brother is, like, looking out for me, you know?
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I am covered in goosebumps right now.
Yeah. Isn't that so wild? Like, just, I could have, like, maybe potentially fallen asleep at the wheel, and I could have died, like my brother, but I feel like he was taking care of me at that point. And
1,000,000%.
the only other time I heard his song was I was in the airport recently at Burbank, and it wasn't Johnny Cash who was singing it. They did a cover, and it came on the radio, and I was on my way to Phoenix, and I was with my friend Raquel. She's in the car with me right now. And I was just like, holy crap, like my brother's song is on right now. And then I just got like a bad vibe, like, oh my God, what if something bad's going to happen? But I was like, well, maybe he's just checking in, you know, because it's very rare that you hear that song ever. Like, it's a very rare song.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah, it's really, really wonderful.
Oh, I love it. So you don't have any of the medium skills the rest of your family got, huh?
Well, the thing is with me, it's like kind of like my sister, like, I don't know what the word would be. Like, I feel stuff. Like, it's so random. Like, I can feel it. I can't see it. I can't do it. But, like, I'm very, like an energy thing, but also, like, a really great intuition when it comes to like certain people, certain things, and it's just like
same.
It's like I don't know if it's, and then my boyfriend currently is like he's like an empath. Like he literally absorbs everyone's energy to the point where he can't control how he feels. You know.
Yeah,
so
I feel that pain as well.
Yeah, like he's constantly feeling like that, and so we both have like these crazy like energies where like we can like even look at someone and be like, oh my God, no, like that's not a good person, or you know. Like very strange, but yeah, I can feel stuff, and it's not even just like spiritual stuff. I can feel stuff that's about to like. It's really strange. I know it sounds like crazy, but like when stuff is about to happen.
Oh no, I am totally on the same page with you. I think you just got a different version of it.
Yeah, it's like very surreal, and like I remember going because my mom used to take me to spiritual churches when I was younger, and I just remember like this medium. He would pull me aside, and every time he'd be like, you have a gift, you need to learn how to use it. And I never knew what it was, and I still don't really fully understand it.
Yeah.
But there's something there. Oh, and then I nearly missed the best thing. So, like, there's this little gypsy lady that would find my mom somehow every 10 years.
What?
Right? Every 10 years. It was very surreal. Like, and she told my mom, she was like, one day you're going to have kids and that you'll have a little girl and she's going to be something special, right? And mom was like, whatever, you know. Then 10 years later, she's like, has me in like this push chair, I don't know what you call it, stroller.
Uh-huh.
And she was just like, she told my mom then too, she's like, no, she's going to be something special and she's going to have her name in lights and she's going to wear like a certain uniform. And she's going to move to America, and she's going to do it. And she started, like, just listing all this stuff. And then she just kept doing it. Like, every 10 years, she would find her. And I think she found my mom recently, but I can't remember what she said. But my mom was like, you just so happened to be wearing a uniform, and that's the rest of the uniform. Your name was in lights. You moved to America, and it was just, like, the most surreal thing ever. Like, we always
that's
had something
crazy.
like that happen to us. It's wild.
That's amazing. I love the whole
Yeah.
wrestling tie into it too. That's really neat.
Yeah, it's very wild. It's a wild feeling, but I love anything when it comes to like just anything spiritual. Like I love it. Like I'm not a religious person, and I don't judge anyone who is a religious person. It's just not something for me. But I'm very spiritual.
Same.
Whoa. First off, imaginary friends scare the shit out of me.
Right.
They always have. And like anytime like you talk to a kid and they're like, "Oh, my imaginary friend," I'm like, "Nope, you're out."
Instantly,
Stop.
it's a ghost to me. For
Ghost.
sure. Yeah. But yeah, and that gypsy psychic medium lady who knew who she was going to be before she was even
Terry.
born. Helena.
No, so crazy. And then I got goosebumps all over me
Brother's
about that
story.
song coming on.
Yeah, so amazing. So thanks, Paige. You're the best.
She's so incredible. She really is. And like, I don't even watch wrestling. I'll be 100% honest. I don't watch it, but she's just incredible and like such a good energy and just one of the good ones.
She really, truly is. The first time I met her, I instantly was in love, and I said she's going to be my friend.
Yeah.
And
I randomly ran into her, remember, in Cincinnati.
I know, you sent me this picture.
Yeah.
Guess who I ran into?
We were both just like standing at a bar next to each other, and we had worked with her the weekend before. And she like taps me, she's like, "Hey." And I was like, "What the hell? Like, why are you in Cincinnati?"
One of my favorite experiences of all the cons we've ever done is we went to a Star Wars bar in San Jose, and Paige was there, and we sang karaoke, and it was beautiful. She's got quite the singing voice.
Really?
Like, insanely
Whoa,
good.
who knew?
Yeah. So thanks, Paige. You guys reach out to her. Tell her you loved having her on the show. If you have any wrestling friends out there, tell them that we had her on the show and they should come listen.
Yeah.
Anything to get them to listen. But we are just about to wrap up. We should tell you guys all the stuff.
All
and
the
all
things.
the things. Season 2, 1 and 2. Amazon Prime.
America, UK.
Yes.
I'm
So
sure some other places, but
we're
primarily
getting
there.
the feedback. People are loving it. I'm
I know.
so excited.
I love seeing this stuff on social.
I do. And I may have watched it like 3 times now, like both seasons. We have t-shirts and stickers for sale on our website, oddityfiles.com. We're on all the socials. Tell them about the socials, Clayton.
Yeah, so you can find us on all the socials, and that's where, like, if you have ghost stories, they don't even have to be ghost stories. They can be alien stories. They can just be, if you know more about, like, Thunderbirds or Nikola Tesla or Thomas Edison's ghost devices, just drop us a message on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook. They're all under Oddity Files. Or, as always, you can send us an email at oddityfilescrew@gmail.com. We love hearing your guys' stories. And it's actually been a little while since we included like a fan submitted one. So don't stop sending us those. But like we say, guys, don't just send us like this one time there was a female ghost in my house. Like tell us a story so that we can share it
Yes.
with you guys. 'Cause
And I love reading them.
we
so
love
much.
those so much. But yeah, you can, like I said, just DM us those stories or email oddityfilescrew@gmail.com because we absolutely love getting them.
Speaking of emails, we got an email. Remember the story I had told you about the seat in Indianapolis? It was covered in blood with teeth on it.
Yes.
And it ended up
Ugh,
being
yeah.
a suicide vehicle. Well, Jim, VIP Jim, actually emailed and he says when they auction off those cars, they don't clean them, the police.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it makes sense. So thanks for that correction, VIP Jim. I
Holy
have
hell.
no idea.
That's
Threw up my mouth a little bit.
so scary.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
please rate, review, and subscribe. You guys are amazing. I know it sounds like a broken record, but we are so grateful for each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
You guys have no idea. It's ridiculous how much fun we're having telling stories. I thought Clayton might fall asleep during my paranormal inventors story, but he was just as interested as I was. So
No,
yay.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and if you guys have any thing you want us to research and tell you guys,
Oh, yeah, that's
about,
cool.
Go to oddityfilescrew@gmail and all the stuff and all the things.
And if you're listening before May 1st, 2019, you can still use the coupon code on our merch.
I did mean to ask if there was an end date to that.
Yeah, I just did it through the month.
Perfect.
And the coupon code is THX10K. It's like, thanks, 10K.
Perfect.
For
And
the
you go to
coupon code.
oddityfiles.com, you click on shop, and
Yeah.
that is where you can get the discount. You guys are the fucking best, and we fucking love you, and we can't wait to do this again.
And you're no longer the weakest link.
But weird is the new cool.
Goodbye.
Bye.